What's up, guys? We're gonna watch X-Men Season 2, Episode 6? 6. No excuses, no reason. What am I even talking about?
6.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm curious what's gonna be in this intro.
So far, so normal.
That ramp up, dude. I love
So
this song.
good.
And it just leaves you wanting more because it is just such a short, like you try
It's
to
30 seconds of pure dopamine.
It's not like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where it's like, oh, there's a 3-minute version. No,
No, there is only this.
Yeah.
And it's not enough. We need joy.
You know, you're giving me new stuff in this intro every week.
I know, and then
Now
you
it's-
hyped it up, and
it's
now
the same. It's the same right
you
now. What's
know?
going on, intro?
Oh, no.
Nope.
I just saw
I've
purple.
already. Forge was last week.
Yep, Forge. All right, everything familiar so far. Quentin Quire, no, we've seen him before.
No, we've seen different.
We saw that 3 episodes ago.
We saw that exact image.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I'm not good enough.
Oh,
X-Men.
we haven't seen that.
That's from the first season.
Yeah, but have we seen it in the intro? Tri-Sentinel?
I'll take whatever we can get.
All right, just a taste. We're that hungry. We were like, I don't know. Yes, maybe.
Just saying.
Counts.
Just saying. Don't set us up like that.
It's not an X Factor intro, but it's still exciting.
Magnus!
You claim to be a teacher,
What? Oh,
but you fail to see the lesson.
Magnus! I can't.
it's gonna save his mind and become Onslaught.
Onslaught's coming.
I think he's coming. It's still brutal.
Only a coward feels mighty when stepping on ants.
Are you calling me a coward?
Sometimes you gotta step on some ants.
Memory simulation complete.
Danger room. Reset.
Interesting.
What's he trying to figure out with this?
It should have been me, Magnus. Because if it had been, you would have found a way.
Is he trying to like heal his own trauma via
I
this?
think he is trying to understand the lesson that Apocalypse is trying to teach him.
Again.
I feel like he's using it kind of like barf technology.
Yeah, it's also like sadistic. Like I think it's a coping like sadism. This is how he apologizes.
I'm sorry, Magnus.
Not healthy, Charles.
Danger room. Abort!
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
What happened?
Simulation parameters were modified in response to repeated failure indicators.
God damn it, Hal 3000.
You expressed a desire to increase strength. I adapted.
Oh, I wonder if this is how Danger's going to come into the show.
Oh.
I am less worried about surviving Apocalypse right now than I am about surviving without Magnus.
Oh.
I will continue to prepare you and your students as directed.
Sassy.
I could feel his presence just one last time.
Oh, I definitely think so. I think we get
you
Danger.
are on track today,
Yes.
buddy.
I called Brood. I did say that Sasquatch was Wendigo. I apologize to the 7 giant Sasquatch fans. I
Sometimes
offended
you're a
last
piece
week.
of shit, you know?
I get the big ones. I don't get the little ones. I get the big ones. And sometimes a piece of shit.
I need to go to a dock one day.
Just to see.
See the hangar, you know? There's always
Yeah.
like cool shit.
There's
in
crime happening.
Vibranium down on the abominations.
Rain and vibranium.
Praise the tools of our salvation.
I feel like the writing staff was like, we got to really rewrite Beau DeMayo shit this year because
Let's make sure.
let's make
it's
sure
ours.
there's other
On
people.
behalf of
That's-
X Factor in the U.S. Defense Department, I
For
order
legal.
you to stand down.
A lot of players this season.
Bargain with mutants? Never.
Look at this cult. Nice, Polaris.
Cool.
Nice, cool.
No bargaining. Polar opposite, actually.
Polar. Opposite.
Oh shit, she murdering?
Wow. That was an image.
She's murdering.
Sometimes you gotta murder.
What the hell are you doing?
Murdering.
This is supposed to be a covert intercept, not search and destroy.
You know me, always a showboat.
Ah, showboat.
She's got puns.
You are out of control. Stand down.
Sometimes when you cage the beast gets angry.
Mutant heathen, there is no escape.
Oh, okay, it's showing the purifiers on the rafts. Or the little crates. That's
You
cool
just
image.
Don't know when to quit.
Way to give her an excuse, guys.
I am not the one who needs to be controlled. Polaris, no!
Woo!
The cultists wanting to be taken out.
Not for
someone's lack of trying.
Oh, he doesn't look happy. He does not look happy.
They're supposed to be the government stooges.
Here you are, looking like one of the threats that we're supposed to be policing.
It wasn't even at full strength.
You know they're calling you the next Magneto.
Because we share a power set?
You and I both know that's not all you share.
Daughter confirmed.
I'm not apologizing for protecting my people.
Lorna, the president and I thank you for your
Oh,
service.
she's getting
There she
fired.
goes.
You're dismissed permanently.
What did you think was going to happen?
The way I see
it's
it, to make
co-ed.
your job easier.
Mutants are progressive.
Yeah.
I have an obligation as team leader.
We have an obligation to protect mutants, not bureaucrats.
Magneto was both a rival and an ally.
And Genosha, too.
We
I call
could
it
do
Genosha
more
too now.
than simply
Chamber!
dream of
Chamber!
a better
Chamber!
world.
Is that Shark? The Jeff the Shark?
The land shark? He's too big, I think.
And there is no one I trust more to guide you.
Oh.
Your new headmistress for this new time.
Leader of the gold team.
Are they in the danger room right now?
You must be
Think.
pushed, tested to ensure your strength.
Oh, no.
When the time
Oh,
comes,
no.
you will be ready to carry on the fight.
I understand,
Welcome
Professor.
to the danger room.
This is how it's born. And just like in the comic.
His grief is pushing it. Oh, what a catastrophe this is going to be. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm
and
so
that'll
excited.
lead to Onslaught, I bet.
Yeah.
Like, I think Danger might go right into Onslaught.
Wow. Room is kept the same. Is this her room?
Professor insisted we not change a thing.
Not even cleanup. It's covered in
It's
ants
been-
and
yes.
dust and spider webs here.
Lots of mold. It's pretty gross.
Polaris, my friend. Every parting is a form of death.
Yes.
Everything we learned, all the training, to end up right back in the same place.
When Hank was not just a freak. Blue freak.
Yeah.
The world has
Blue
not
and
offered
gold.
much light since Genosha,
That's the team
but
colors.
at least
Yeah.
here, our students have a place to
I
call home again.
pointed it out.
Greg knows, guys.
Jeez, I'm trying
It
to.
was-
Whenever
Hey,
I-
it's Mr. Fantastic /
I
Morph.
told myself. How are you, sir? I heard what happened with Magneto.
Yeah, Polaris, do you feel a thing about it?
I was forced to infiltrate his mind. I had hoped piece of Magnus might still linger somewhere inside mine.
Symbolic, it's them.
Pair of doves. That's what I think of Polaris and Xavier.
See Magneto and Charles.
X-Factor operative, Magneto's heir apparent. But that man is not my father. You were the one who raised me.
We all
I
must
feel you,
face the
Polaris.
truth. A group of us are leaving to tour the wreckage of Genosha.
Oh, what a fun tour.
Perhaps while I am searching for my answers, you can do the same here.
Freshman hanging out with the unstable school dropout.
They met Wolverine.
Duty calls, headmistress. There's danger in the danger room.
That is not Jeff.
Not Jeff. Way too big. I actually
a,
don't.
There's a lot
recognize
of
him.
sharks in the Marvel.
Marvel like sharks.
I do like that Bishop actually gets to use the energy beaming way more this time.
Start
And
talking.
defensive and offensively.
What happened?
Chamber gonna talk,
Forge, morph, with me.
I mean, we know what's
Bishop,
going on.
Stay
It's
a
Hal
moment to the
3000.
boy.
but I want Chamber to talk.
You all gonna help, or is gawking and staring your mutant power?
Ease up, tough guy. Their friend nearly died.
Chamber was responding, but then she blocked his shot.
That door sounds very locked.
We're well past this prank being funny. Open up.
Oh, he looks so good.
Now there's no doors at all.
The room's electromagnetic field. It's shifting.
Evolving.
Let's try waking it up.
When in doubt, open fire. Interesting lesson for the kids.
It's a good point. Oh, this is fun.
Ah, he's just weaponizing it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Who turned on the video game?
Cool.
These are assessment protocols. The professor used them to rank new students and find a baseline.
So it's learning how to train to be better at taking them down.
Who the hell is that?
Your
Yep.
trial by fire.
Danger is danger. He's evil.
What happened to the perimeter breach?
I thought you said the system detected a threat.
No, it became one.
God. Day one.
Just got team leader.
Don't think we're in the mansion anymore.
What the hell? This is the future. My future.
Because it could read your mind.
Danger Room has cerebro tech. It's mining your memories. Take it you don't spend much time training in here.
Freaks were my danger room.
Punchlines, cute.
It's fun to bring these guys back from season 1.
Yeah, fitting.
You remain the A+ student. To continue to prepare you, I had to get smarter.
When are these other students gonna start getting
Doing,
involved with
you know, Monet's like one of the most powerful mutants.
The natural-born villain, desperate to play the hero, yet doomed to fail.
Ooh,
Exactly how to get her, even visually.
the evil shadow.
Yep, there's that liability.
Get a grip. You're hurting the students.
I like that. Professor X's grief and pain is hurting everyone, and Polaris almost made the same mistake with her grief and pain.
Like a pair of doves.
Like a pair of doves, how they feed each other.
Always a damn killing machine.
Danger!
Shall we begin?
Oh, just like the Cassaday art. Beautiful.
God, Danger's hot.
You know, thing for cyborgs or just tech.
Ooh. Oh, man. So we're going to be able to, like, hook up with AI robots in the future.
Oh, in like 2 years. Japan probably can't now.
Whatever this program has become, it has stolen one of our mini-jets.
Oh, shit.
Tracker says it's heading to Genosha.
We must get to the professor.
We can't, darling. Kelly's executive order.
Oh.
I fell right into that Deathbot's hand. Completely lost control.
Came back, though?
If it's headed where we think it is, I need a partner who ain't gonna hold back.
So all that shit I was saying about you.
Now unleash it.
Do the opposite.
It's fine.
Because if I just let you do that earlier,
We'd probably
wouldn't be in this situation.
Kids might be dead, but so cheap.
Eyes up, X-Men. Got an incoming bogey. Evolved. Escaped. Danger.
Nice.
My sensors are picking up on some sort of strange electromagnetic interference.
Honestly, I think it's a terrible idea to fucking put cerebro tech
Into because then it reads minds that it can then
Stupid.
weaponize.
It's
Like
terrible.
Charles. His ego. Such a great villain. Grant Morrison's. I love Danger.
It's not possible.
We've got this, Professor.
What do you mean it's not possible? You built a danger room.
She knows all our moves.
Maybe not all of them.
Oh, from the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, new move. Oh, that's sick. That's why. Oh, disco ball right back to your face.
You wanted to learn how to survive in a world without Magneto. And where better to begin than in the ashes of your greatest failure?
Oh, my God. It's like Ultron and Tony Stark. Oh, my God. He's got guns.
Didn't predict it. Like old video game. Yeah, Charles.
Damn, Charles.
I ruined your fancy chair.
You did bring me another ride.
Something tells me Danger picked the wrong X-Man to screw with.
I mean, yeah, it's Charles.
Professor Xavier, always trying to turn an inevitable tide.
That is his conquest.
This time I go for your head.
Thanos.
Keep your hands off him!
Nice. Work as a team.
Didn't factor me into
Nice.
your equation. Think it's about time for a hard reboot.
Haha, like this show.
It's like a medium soft.
It's a continuation.
As are you, destined to repeat the
movies, though.
sins of the ones who made us.
Nope.
Bound to our creators.
Nope.
She's
Nope, you
not.
got it.
That's been the whole
You
message.
got it all wrong.
Magnets.
Ooh, but the sass.
Oh, yeah, if it's all of you, you guys can pull this off.
Survival.
Cool.
We have all the power we need. We have you, Lorna.
Me?
Magnetism.
If you summon all the electromagnetic energy that you can, you are your father's daughter.
How it's a good thing. Let's go.
Gotta embrace.
I never knew him.
Well, I did. I can use my powers to share every bit of him.
Waking up Onslaught.
This season has done so much like shots like this, emphasis on the eyes.
I am trying to be better.
That was a line from episode 2.
Hab keine Angst.
Genosha.
You do not need to be controlled, Lorna.
You just need to embrace all of who you are.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Finally, strength.
A worthy death.
I felt him, Professor. My father.
So did I.
Well, they can grieve together.
I think I finally understand what we must do next.
Rebuild the danger room.
With more technology.
If we're to continue our quest to protect a world that hates and fears us,
Said the thing.
I give you X-Corp.
Wow. We've done it.
Capitalism.
The Justice Department will challenge X-Corp's
This
plans.
season is nuts.
It's doing so much.
This is nuts.
Cooper's not backing down.
It only proves that we are doing something.
Oh, I love that suit on him.
matters.
It was introduced in the 400s.
The threats are only growing by the day. I can sense it.
Sense what, Professor?
Apocalypse.
Woo!
Of course. I don't think you do much sensing. Watcher.
Oh, Watu.
I would love to be the Watcher. With a bucket of popcorn.
Just vibing.
Let us begin.
Gambit? I'm going to keep calling Gambit
Until
I'm
it
right.
happens.
Till I'm right.
Hey!
Been calling it since the trailer.
Horseman up. Oh, I'm excited.
Just like the 12. Well, that's clearly the thumbnail.
I mean, obviously, no one will possibly be upset
Before
about
people watch the episode,
Yeah, you'd
we
be
should
like,
definitely,
you should know the last 2 seconds.
you should
I
definitely
think.
know right that one right there.
You're saving them time.
Yeah, and then we don't need to watch it.
You're like 31 minutes. You're welcome. You got your life back.
All right, shit. Now I just actually want to make it the thumbnail just to,
Oh
just
man,
to mess with people.
we're just going for the gold here.
All right, dang.
Yeah, the camera's doing a thing.
Yeah,
You
I
see
know.
that?
I'll check it out.
Okay, you
It's
scared
probably
me.
fine. It's probably fine. Don't you worry.
Okay, I
boy.
couldn't see it the
Don't
whole
you
time.
worry.
Now I see it.
I looked at it a bunch of
Okay.
times. We're still recording. I think we're still recording.
Oh, we'll find out.
Hey guys, while I'm here, it's a good time to show you the Choose Your Mutant t-shirts are available at rejectnationshop.com. Thank you guys to those who have already bought one. We are so many copyright claims and that's averaging a strike to 2 strikes a week just throughout the entire year. So you guys rock who can support. Appreciate you. If you can't, it's fine. Just leave a like or join our Patreon. If you can't do that, subscribe and leave a comment. There's other ways to support that cost you absolutely nothing. Koi Leon. I almost said immediately, and then I was like, I don't know if that's the right word.
Pretty quick.
Early on, you were. I really just want to say the word immediately.
I was pretty immediate.
That danger would be in this episode.
Yes.
You called it right away. Then this episode's called Danger.
X said it before
dude.
it.
You're right. You're really avenging yourself.
I am trying to make sure that the peoples whose opinions matter more to me than my own, the citizens of the Message Board Nation.
I believe you've told me before that you thought Danger might come into this season. I think you have.
I have.
So
yeah.
now that Danger's here,
Mm-hmm.
what did you think about Danger's inclusion?
I think it's cool because it's blending a lot of different storylines. Like the new X-Men Grant Morrison run is a favorite. But I think I mentioned during the episode, and I think I misspoke. The actual creation. I hope I did, because that'll get some.
I hope
that'll get some
you
comments.
did.
Every time you guys yell Sasquatch instead of Wendigo, it helps us. So sometimes I'm like, if I say something a little wrong. But Joss Whedon and John Cassaday really made Danger a fascinating character. And then there's some elements that Grant Morrison new X-Men run throughout this season. So blending 2 iconic modern runs that are now like 20 years old, which is crazy. But a very formative run. But there's also, I forget who was writing, but it was around issue 426, 27. Nightcrawler gets a new suit, and they bring that in here as well. So there's like 3 very formative eras. They're kind of blending together. I do think it's really interesting that X-Corp is also getting teased, because the idea of like, well, there's no consequences if we're a business is very funny to me. It's very American to be like, well, there'd be consequences if we were people, but we're going to be a business. And by the way, businesses have rights. And then leading into that, going overseas, I think they've done some stuff that feels like ish to the Australia era of X-Men, but that's a really popular time they haven't really fully mined from yet. So they're doing a lot of really fascinating stuff, and Danger, I think, is a perfect now villain. Like when they wrote Danger 20 years ago, it was sci-fi.
The very 80s villain.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like our concern about the future made flesh or made robot. But I mean, we said Ultron during this. There's a lot of villains that feel more and more like, well, it's not that crazy anymore. And Danger to me feels like a very logical blend of Cerebro in the Danger Room.
We feed AI our thoughts all the time, our identities. So like him saying he put Cerebro tech in there,
it's like
just to read your mind. Oh my God.
It's just letting Siri listen.
What a terrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the next step. It's just a logical step.
Most people are skeptical about how much identity you put on the internet.
Yeah.
And how much you put into it, like a freaking your Claude account or something.
Right.
Imagine it's a guy who's like, I want a machine that could just read your mind.
Yeah, go for it. Save me time. I'd like to know what I want to shop for.
It's nuts. I get it.
But it's coming. Like, I think...
one day, that'd be cool. I'll use it.
No, I think the microchip that, like, they've been trying to do, like, those Neuralink things, that'll have ads, and then you'll pay more to get those ads off, and then there'll also be, like, ways for it to scan other parts of your brain that you didn't know you signed up for. Like, it's all coming, and it's not...
I'm excited.
Our kids' lifetime. It's ours.
I'm going to be way smarter, and you're going to get every X-Men character right for a change.
Yeah, once I'm plugged into the Wiki encyclopedia, whatever's next.
Yeah, we're all going to sound and talk the same, and I can't wait for it.
And we all will just support the hive of capitalism.
Hey, that's the way the world goes. Polaris is here.
Polaris is here.
Polaris got a really good, focused episode. I really like the illustrations that they did with Professor X having his grief with Magneto and her having that conflicted one of, I don't really know him, never did, and now I'm in his fucking shadow after he's dead, and the way I'm being viewed on the internet. It's a lot of this is reclaiming one's own identity, not being haunted by your creator. Like so much of this dealt a lot with you don't have to be the identity of your creator.
Yeah.
And also what you spawn can be, depending on the thing you created, can be bad depending on how you develop it or raise it. There's some interesting like nurture nature debates that they explored in this episode that I was very compelled by. Grief is always a fascinating subject to me, and I really like what they did with Polaris, man. How do you feel?
I think it's my second favorite episode from the fourth one because I am a big legacy and nature nurture and also how you process grief and all that is in this episode. The way Charles is using the Danger Room as like a psychotherapy and failing, and the way, you know, he's supposed to be this leader in this wise mind, and he fails himself with Magneto. He fails his students with Danger. Like it's very Charles to just be like, well, I keep fucking up. Yeah. But it's also a really interesting parallel with Magneto and Polaris and
like the
what you're a product of your environment is, like how you reflect your environment. And I get where she's coming from. Like I don't understand how you could be a member of X Factor. And I talked about it a lot at the X Factor episode, but like the idea of where your allegiances lie and how many different X teams there are is one of the strengths of the X-Men, is the fact that X Factor is a bunch of narc cops and that X-Force is the mercenary side. X-Men is trying to appeal to the government and be kind of, you know, on the goody two shoes. Like X-Men are your Martin Luther King and Magneto's your Malcolm X. And like, you know, there's a Venn diagram of crossover, but like X-Men are far too delicate a lot of the time towards how they're treated, in my opinion. And that's what's fun is how, like, where you sign up, like what your school is.
Yeah.
And I think the introduction of now businessmen with the X-Men is going to be an interesting look at what the X-Men have to evolve into for the safety from the government. So having X Factor introduced really allowed Polaris to have something to rebel against. And also I think they made it pretty clear X Factor is a bunch of hypocrites, like, or at least from someone who's pretty anti establishment, anti-authority, like, yeah, do what you're told. You've been ordered to do this. Like these are rules.
I specifically said you cannot talk about that stuff here.
Yeah, and I did it because I'm anti-authority.
Oh, shit, dude, you're
for the company.
You're so cool.
Yeah, I'm edgy. It's why I like Chamber. But no, I think it's important to have those lines in the sand, right? If like the authority is saying mutants are bad, and then you're like, well, if the government's going to pay me, I'll be safe and I'll work for the government to kidnap mutants. You got to figure out where you stand there. And then you've also got people that are on the other side. And introducing Polaris is interesting because she's just trying to find a place to belong because she is a made villain that is trying to be a hero. So of course she would be the one that'd be susceptible to like, well, the government is going to approve of me. I'm going to get a little shiny badge.
Yeah.
And like, that's really good character development while it allows her to have rebellion in this episode.
That's so true, man.
Which is why I bring up the journey of that, not just to espouse my own personal beliefs of authority, but also it's the beauty of moral conundrums brought up by these characters. If these characters aren't written well, you don't have that pondering of where you belong. You don't have that question of what the different teams represent. Like, it requires you to live with these characters, and that's the fun of serialized long-form content is you get to decide whether you'd agree with this person at this point in their arc and whether or not you see that development as fair to the character.
So true, man. So true.
Dug it. Play with scissors.
Calluses?
Yeah, I tried a lotion, but I just accept them after
I'd
a
rather
point.
just cut it.
Yeah.
After my 8-mile run yesterday, I had a new thing happen.
Oh?
Where, you know when you get like the water, what's it called, when like bubbles up on your feet?
Yeah, the blisters?
The blister ones. And it was like red. I had a giant
Blood blister?
Blood blister.
I've had those. Those suck.
Those
dude.
like-
They're scary as
and I
fuck,
just
too.
Poked it. And
Got to wrap those because they'll heal funny sometimes.
Yeah, no, it is wrapped.
Okay, good.
Well, what I loved about, speaking of
Not
pain,
Wolverine over here.
what I loved about this is they had that line in there about pain being the ultimate motivator, and I think that is kind of the thesis of this entire episode because it's so much of this. If you look at what everyone's going through, a lot of them are going through the exact same themes, and it's all about what choice do you take, what direction do you take. You know, we're experiencing a similar kind of pain. You look at what Charles is experiencing, and then he makes his choices that can be harmful and dangerous based off that pain. And then Polaris is also experiencing her pain, but then making the choice of acceptance and how to use that pain for good. So a lot of times that's usually the difference between a good guy and a bad guy in these stories is, and that was the big thing when it came to fucking Magneto and Xavier, right? Is how they share a lot of the same beliefs. The problem is that the way the pain warps them makes them choose different paths and different choices. And I loved how this was just a big conflict of what path do I take in spite of this pain? You know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people make terrible choices based off that pain. And it's much harder to make a good choice when you're in a lot of pain. I make bad choices when I'm stressed. You know?
Yeah, when I'm angry, I don't think clearly, and that leads to things that are like, oh, is that how I feel right now, or is that how I feel in my values? Like, is this a choice I'm making out of, a short-term solution, or is this going to affect long-term? And that's why I think, groups are interesting, because anytime there's a group, it's so many different values, and there's so many different ethics and morals and ideas that you're trying to, like, operate with, and that's another element that's fun with so many different X-Men groups now being canon. Like, Generation X is an X-Men group that represented at the time the 90s.
Right.
That is going to be those young adults at that time and what they believe then. And I'm really excited to see the X-Men come to live action, because even the X-Men themselves in 2026 are going to be different than any other era they've ever existed, because the world is so different. And anytime a group gets together and there can be profit, then it's also a decision of like profit versus people. And that's what I'm excited to see if X-Corps really dives into. Well, that's why I have problems with any authorities, because usually when there's a group, authority is coming from a place of profit. So like when, taxes come into play and giant organizations are like able to profit, they're going to care less and less about people the more there could be profit. So is X-Corps going to look at the themes of, well, we've got our people to take care of, but juxtaposing X Factor, now we don't believe in your government. We left your government. Is there something that we can do to make money and take care of our people? And what's that going to look like? Is that going to juxtapose X Factor? Is that going to be a commentary here?
I'm wondering what will be, because like my final thought would be they are doing a lot.
It's a lot, Greg.
There's a lot of different
6
things.
episodes. I'm like, what was 1, 2? Like,
and I guess the through line is apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's the main through line we got here is apocalypse. And this, episode 2 was when we got X-Force. And then they finally, taking the events of episode 2 and the events of episode 4, then they brought it into episode 6, so we're seeing how it's coalescing and coming together. But every episode, pretty much, they're introducing some big, new, thick, like every time.
Each episode feels like an hour.
It's an hour, like jam packed into 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So much happening here. It was like look, I'm grieving the danger room, and then day one of these kids being here, and the danger now exists, and we're in Genosha fighting. Like it's just fucking all. Now we have X Corp. There's so much happening. And it's kind of like every episode so far. It's like, holy shit, so much is going on. And it's exhilarating. It's very entertaining. The thing I'm just wondering is like, we ponder these things, but like, will they really explore it? Or is it just going to be like a few minutes here or there?
Or is it us going from one sentence, I could really unpack this? Like, will it get explored enough that it feels like it's getting any sort of actual attention? Or is it just like, we'd like to posit an idea for you to think about?
Yeah, because right now the episodes are great. And I like that every episode feels like a graphic novel.
Yeah,
which
like
is
a
pretty
full
cool.
ass series, not like a fucking floppy. Like each episode feels like
it's pretty cool.
An arc.
It's pretty cool that they're able to do all that, and I'm just kind of curious to see how by the time we get to the final episode, if it all just feels like a thematic through line.
Yeah, I'm very curious too, because we're past halfway at this point, and 5's the only episode that I was like, oh, that's a bottle episode. Not fully, obviously, but every other episode has felt like it's on this big arc. Will that feel resolute by the end? Because it's a lot.
Yeah. But either way, it was a really fun time. I'm excited to be here. I wonder what's next week. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you guys soon, Rejects.